Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a wonderful guest with me today, Tina Collura. She is fabulous. Last weekend, she interviewed me, and today I am interviewing her. She's going to talk about 6 easy steps on how to thrive instead of just thrive. Tina Collura is an award-winning coach, the founder and CEO of See Yourself Grow coaching company, and a business growth strategist. Her zone of genius is helping business owners triple their revenue in as little as 8 weeks. Love that. Tina is a wife, mom, and boss at everything she does. You give her 15 minutes and she will use her superpower of taking your big ideas and breaking them down into small, more manageable tasks so you can focus on scaling and growing your business. Tina has been coaching and speaking for 15 years and worked in corporate for 21 years. Her tagline is, she will help you get out of your own way and into results in less than 60 days. Welcome, Tina, to the show. Tell us more about how you help your clients thrive instead of just thrive.
Thank you so much, Sandra, for having me here and for giving me this opportunity to share, my thoughts, my experiences, my tips, my tricks. So I got to tell you, based on my experience and the people that I have helped and that I've worked with in the past, they are fed up with their current situations and they know that they deserve more and they know that they want more in their lives, but they're feeling just unfulfilled and or frustrated with their day-to-day situation, right? So these are the people that, when you call them and you say, "Hey, how you doing?" and they're like, "Oh, I'm surviving." Right? Those are the people I'd love to help, right? These are people that are basically being held back by fears, right? Or they're scared to jump through that fear zone and get into the learning and the growth zone, right? They're uncertain of which steps they need to take in order to start seeing the results that they know they deserve. So I help these people identify and work through their top 5 fears. I help these people deal with change and overcoming their roadblocks. And I help them be part of the 8% club. That's the club that are achieving their goals year after year. Okay. So if you are ready, and if you want to get a piece of paper and pen and you want to write down these 6 easy steps on how to thrive instead of just survive, here goes. Okay. So, number one, you begin with the end in mind, right? Everybody needs to have a goal, everyone needs to have a vision. Okay. Write that down. And it doesn't matter how big it is. If you think it's big, think even bigger. Okay. Number two, you build a good support system around you. Find people around you that are going to lift you up. Okay. Number three, you set specific goals that are going to help you get there every day. If even if it's just small little goals, every little bit counts, right? Number four, you need to recognize when you are procrastinating. Because let's be honest, we all do it. Just some of us do it better than others, right? And then, Sandra, you know me, I have what's called the 25-5 rule. So I work for 25 minutes and then I break for 5, right? So that's the fifth step. And then the sixth step is to reward yourself with the distraction of your choice. For me, it could be social media, it could be my children, but it's 5 minutes, remember, and set your alarms, right? So I set my alarm for 25 minutes to work. I set my alarm for 25 minutes, 5 minutes to break. So that's basically how you thrive instead of just survive every day of your life. It's that easy.
So, you just heard some really great practical tips from Tina. One of the things I love about her is that she takes these mountainous things that we want to accomplish that I may stop myself. It's like, oh, that's too big. And she breaks it into pieces that are doable every single day,
Yeah.
practical and
Yeah.
easy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I really feel like people get overwhelmed with just the thought of, starting a new business or starting a new journey, new relationship, new career, right? People think, oh my God, it's so far out there, it's not attainable, right? But if you just start thinking about what's one step that can take me closer to achieving that goal, what is that one thing? Right? So for people who want to make a career change, I'm like, what's the role? What's your burning desire? What is your dream job? Well, you know what? Go book an appointment, a virtual coffee with someone who's in that role. Pick their brain, right? The fear of the unknown, do your research, right? That's just one
Now, I
thing.
find that there are a lot of times where I know to do something and I don't do it. And this
Mhm.
is an area where having a coach is
Mhm.
actually incredibly supportive. Things that I know to do, but I'm not getting my feet out the door. It's like
Mhm.
having someone to hold me accountable makes a really big difference.
Oh, absolutely. And I love working with people who are ready to take the plunge, who are ready to dive in, right? They're standing at the edge of that river and they see it's going so fast and they're scared. They're scared to jump full in, right? But if you know that you have someone there who's going to hold you and who's going to guide you, right? Maybe that life raft that you could just jump into and who's going to steer you in that right direction, it's a lot less daunting and scary than jumping in by yourself, right? And let's be honest, like, I don't know about you, Sandra, but every time I've tried to do it alone, it's taken me longer, right, to achieve my goals. But anytime I've worked with a coach or I've worked with a business growth strategist, I've seen the results triple in less than 90 days, right? So now I've taken what I've learned, I've taken all my experience and I've applied it. And now I'm teaching others how to do the same.
So, Tina, tell us about some people who you've helped recently, some successes that you've had.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll tell you one personal and one small business account customer. So on a personal, so one of my personal clients, she was crippled by COVID. Her business was, she was an artistic entrepreneur and she was doing painting parties live. And so she called me and she's like, I don't know how to pivot. I don't know how to go virtual. And so I sat down with her and I said, okay, what do you need in order to be successful? Right? You need people. We could, set up a live stream. The supplies. How would we get these customers the supplies that they need? And so we started again, just working through the details. Had a brainstorming session. Had a brain dump moment. And then I started creating what's called a work breakdown structure. So I started talking about what is her business mindset? What are her lead generating strategies? How could she be present on social media? How could she start connecting with people, right? And so week after week, she chose the activities that she wanted to commit to. And after 30 days, she had booked 3 virtual paint parties across the country, and the rest was history. And I actually helped her launch another business during COVID as well, because I saw that she had so much talent from a social media perspective, that I asked her if she would take me on as a client to be my virtual assistant. And she's like, what is that? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, let's figure it out together. Right. Because I would always bounce things off of her from an artistic perspective. And she took that business. She got her first 3 clients after 60 days. And now she's running 2 successful businesses since we've been working together. So that's one example. Another example of a small business client that I'm helping, he attended one of my procrastination free master classes, and he was overwhelmed with the work. He had grown faster than he had anticipated, and he just couldn't handle the volume, right, of his deliverables to his clients. So he knew that he needed to hire a team, and he just didn't know where to start. And so he knows that I have an HR background as well in hiring and training and interviewing. So he took me on as a consultant, and we've been working together. I've been mapping out his onboarding strategies, his training program. I've been helping him, look at resumes, set up interviews, and we hired his first employee in August, and now we're hiring his next employee in November. So he's doing really well.
So tell me about your qualifications. How is it that you learn to do all of this to help people?
Oh gosh. So again, as coaches, we jump into being coaches because we love helping people, achieve a goal, or we have experienced a monumental change in our own lives that we want to help others do the same, right? So, as you mentioned, Sandra, I've been coaching for over 15 years. And I've been leading people for about 20, 21 years now. And so I did my certification back in 2008. I started doing group coaching sessions, power of goal setting, power of visioning, future visioning, and the power of positive thinking, right? During COVID, I made an additional 6 figures with my side hustle while working a 9 to 5 and homeschooling a 6 year old and watching my 3 year old turn my house into a jungle gym. After going virtual, like I said, I had my first 3 paying clients in 30 days. I got 13 paying clients in 90 days after going virtual. And, I've helped 8 clients during COVID launch their own businesses and see their revenue triple in 90 days. And then in December of 2020, I was gifted an award as being one of the top 500 global entrepreneurs by the Brains magazine. And I share that with people like Elon Musk, Simon Sinek, and Mel Robbins. So, yeah.
Sounds like you're very qualified to help a lot of people.
I'm trying, yeah.
Yeah. If anybody is online in Facebook and has a question for Tina, go ahead and stick it in the chat and she'd be happy to answer them. So tell me about some of the things that you tell people when they're struggling to change. How do you get them out of that stuck place?
Oh gosh. So I look at change, Sandra, like a technology update on our phones, right? It's something that needs to happen in order for our systems or our phones to function better. And we have to accept it whether we like it or not. We can delay the update as much as we want. We could delay the change, but if we learn to accept the change quickly, we adapt quickly, right? And then we could see the possibilities of, what could be, right? So I see change as a good thing for so many reasons. Personally, professionally, it helps us be more resilient, right? We all need to understand our own limitations when it comes to change, and everyone's levels of acceptance is different. But if you learn to accept it early on, I look at choices, right? Everything is a choice. So the more choices that you make, the better you become at making choices, right? So the more instances that you put yourself in an opportunity to make a change in your life, even if it's a small change, right? The better you become at accepting change, right? So if you I'm here to tell you, you're not alone because everybody deals with change differently. But I look at my kids, I ask them to try new things every day. Whether they like it or not, it's instilling that habit of being open to try new things, right? And being open to change their routines, right? So if you could change one small thing a day, that would help you be successful. I would say switch your routine up, right? If you go for a walk and you always take the same path, take a different path, right? See where that leads you, right? Or move towards something that scares you, right? If it's a new food, if it's a new activity, right? And always ask questions. Like, again, I have a 4 year old and she's always like, why this and why that? Why? Well, I learned in my process engineering days, we have to ask the 5 whys. And then finally we get to the answer that we know we're all happy with, right? And agree to something you wouldn't normally do. I have something called the 5 for 5. Try 5 new things in 5 days. Give it a shot. Why not?
One of the things that I'm thinking about you and looking at other people is there are a lot of people who have things going on in their personal life, at home, in their relationships, and it affects their ability to be effective in their business.
Hmm.
So it's like looking at the integrity of all of life is how everything is affected by everything else. How do
Yeah.
you help people when they're struggling with family or, health or, personal related things to also be able to do what they need to do in their work?
So, Sandra, that is such a great question because I mean we're human first, right? And if we are not well, if we are not balanced, right, with ourselves, how can we be ready to help anyone else? And that's a struggle I had when I first started coaching. I'm like, how could I help others when I don't have it all figured out? Right? But the one thing we got going on as coaches is we're great at self-reflecting. We're great at asking questions, right? But what we have to do is we have to learn to ask ourselves questions. So what I started doing pre-COVID is I did this exercise called the circle of life. And I always asked myself, how am I doing emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually? I look at those as the four tires on every car. If one of those is deflated, that car isn't going anywhere. And that's the same thing with our lives, right? So if you could take care of those 4 areas, you're good. That's awesome, right? But if you're not well mentally, right, that's when the stress starts kicking in, or that's when depression starts taking over, right? There's so many things. So I started applying that to different areas of my life. I wrote down a list. My family life, my relationship with my husband, with my kids, my career, my self care. And I ask myself every Sunday, I call it See Yourself Grow on Sunday, what is working well? What is not working? What can I do better? Right? And then I apply that to business as well. So I have a personal self assessment that I do, and then I have a business self assessment that I do. On the business side, Sandra, it's how am I showing up on social media? How am I doing with connecting with people? Right? How am I doing with lead generating strategies? You know, so hopefully that helps.
So, as a coach, are you helping people with all of those arenas? Do you focus on business mostly? Do you focus on personal? Do you specialize in any of those in particular or work with all of them?
Yeah. So when I first started out, Sandra, I was basically helping people who were struggling with getting stuff done, right? As a productivity coach, you know, my life is busy. So I'm a great example of how to be a wife, a mom, and a boss at everything that I do. And people, the number one question people always ask, how do you do it? How are you managing your family, your business, your career, the dogs, the husband, right? And I always say, when you are passionate about what you are doing, you don't even realize how much time it's taking to do all of this. But people who struggle with being organized or people who struggle with not being disciplined to get stuff done, those are the people I help. So in the beginning, I was helping people achieve good balance and time management and organizational skills with a personal task that they wanted to achieve, right? Then I started realizing, people started seeing my success with how I was helping clients or how I was attracting clients or how I was closing sales so quickly. And so then that's when I started attracting a lot of sales and coaches and small business owners. So to your point, Sandra, I could definitely help people personally and professionally. Yeah.
Do you have anything coming up? Any special events or offers that you want to share?
Yeah, for sure. So actually, on November 16th, I feel like everybody is ready for a restart. Whether it's, restart something that you dropped in the summer months and now you're ready to kick it off again? Or are you ready for a restart for 2022? So November 16th, I'm offering a free masterclass on how to take your vision into reality, ready for a restart. If people just type into Facebook, ready for a restart free masterclass, they can register there. And then closer to the date, I will send them a Zoom link. It's a 1 hour session, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Her master classes are really terrific. She mentioned that one of her other clients had done the procrastination workshop. So I was in her procrastination session a couple of weeks ago, I guess, and it was terrific.
Oh, thank you, Sandra. I love sharing tips and tricks with people who need to hear it the most. And when you think like nobody's listening or no one's watching, you know, when the time is right, people will reach out. It's our job is to let them know that we are here to help them. We are here to guide them in any which way we can, right? So that's what we
So
do.
associated with this video, there will be links to how to contact Tina for, whatever it is that you want to work with her with.
Excellent.
So do you have a number one productivity tip for us?
Sandra, doing the self-assessment is my number one thing for helping me stay balanced and making sure that I'm looking and doing the right things. But the thing that I love to do is every Saturday morning, I sit with my calendars and I have a whiteboard and I start mapping out what I have going on for the week and filling in the gaps, right? If you're not planning, if you're not organizing yourself well, how do you know what you're working towards, right? So on my whiteboard, I have my calendar, I have my connection bubbles, how many people I'm connecting with every month. I have my upcoming events, and I have my monthly income goals, right? So get yourselves a whiteboard, get visual, and get organized. So not one, but maybe three there.
So what do you say when you have people who aren't very good at systemizing and organizing that way? How do you help them?
Well, the first thing they need to identify is how badly do they want to achieve balance and organization in their lives, right? I always ask clients, like, what is this costing you? Right? Is it costing you something in your health or your wealth or your relationships? Like, by the time people come to me, they have admitted to themselves that they need to make a change, right? So the first thing we need to do is analyze where they're going wrong, right? Where are they wasting their time? So I'm obsessed with time, Sandra, because it's something that we have right now, but it's gone in an instant, right? So you really need to identify where you are wasting your time and how valuable time is to you. So I ask those difficult questions to get to the root cause of what is causing them, right, to be in such despair.
Yeah, something that can come up there is people's beliefs
Hmm.
and traumas and things that happened in the past that cause people to not believe that they can
Right?
have what they want.
Yeah. Yeah. Or abuse of
Yeah.
time, right? Or what have they seen, right? What have they been, like, Sandra, you know this better than I have. What have situations in their past done to have them behaving this way in their present life, right? So that's your superpower, right? It's helping people identify how their past is affecting their present.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So a lot of times I find that people don't know what they want. They don't
Mhm.
know what their goals are. They've never thought about it. And usually, like you just said, it's because of things that happened in the past, trauma that happened in the past. How do you help people when they're so stuck that they don't even know what they want?
So that's part of what the Ready for a Restart Vision to Reality webinar is all about. That's coming up on November 16th. We start with an assessment. We start with a self-assessment of where they are, right? I ask them to grade themselves on a scale of 1 to 10, right? Where are you in those four quadrants of life? But what about your, your career or your business or your social life? So I ask them to pick four other areas of their life that they want to focus on. And then the areas where they score the lowest, Sandra, those are the areas. How about we start there? How about we start there? We build out a work breakdown structure on the areas you scored the lowest in. What are some activities you could do to improve those areas week after week, right? So let's start. Everybody needs a starting point. And then from there, I help them build out the vision board because it's important to know, the areas that you're struggling with, but it's important to be visual about them as well. And then I teach them how to create a vision board and I teach them how to work with the vision board in order to make those visions a reality.
So if you're watching this now or later and you're interested in this webinar that she's talking about on November 16th, put Ready for a Reset in the comments there and Tina will get information to you.
Yeah, for sure.
How can people get in touch with you?
Oh, Sandra, I'm all over social media. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. People can go to my website, seeyourselfgrow.com. So that's SEEYOURSELFGROW.com. I'll put the links in the chat, in the comments. And I'll also have my hi hello link that people can get in contact with me on all my social media pages there as well.
Do you have a last message that you want to leave with people?
I think it's just important to acknowledge where you are now and where you want to be. And it's never too late. It's never too late for a restart. And if you have a burning desire to be more or to do more, don't ignore it. When you're looking at yourself in the mirror every morning, are you happy with who is looking back at you? And if you're not, make sure that you connect with myself or Sandra and we'll help you, you know, get into that state of being that you deserve.
And Tina will help you make it practical, doable, so that you can actually step into those things that maybe you don't believe that you can have for your life. You really can.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what See Yourself Grow is all about. I've seen myself grow, and that's why I love helping others see themselves grow and see their business grow.
Well, so thank you, Tina. That was delightful. Appreciate every minute that I have with you. I always learn so much.
Thank you so much, Sandra. Thank you for your time. Thank you for doing this for me. I greatly appreciate you and all you do.
I think we're probably going to be collaborating in the future more. So this
I
is
would
good.
love that. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for watching, and definitely reach out and connect with Tina. She offers these free webinars frequently. So learn from her, take advantage of her and her expertise, and you will love every minute you have. Thank you.
Thank you.